Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our transgressions as we forgive those who are transgressing against us. And lead us while being in temptation, and deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Absolute infinite beingness, God, everlasting life, love, and mercy, manifesting yourself in yourself, in your total wisdom and your almightiness, your omnipresence. Enlighten our minds to understand you as the truth. Clean our hearts to reflect your love towards you and towards all other human beings. Amen. Living and thinking, being able to think, is a proof of the existence of God. I repeat it. Living and being able to think is a proof of the existence of God, because it gives meaning to what we call life. Why? We see phenomena of life all around us in the cross-material world. Of course, studying all these phenomena of life, of the vegetable kingdom, of the animal kingdom, we can see, we can trace, we can find the total wisdom behind every phenomenon of life. Sing it. You see the harmony. You see that nothing is beyond the ability of an intelligence concerning that kind of life. You see many things in one kind of life. And you see in all things the total wisdom concerning that kind of life. Therefore, we can think and reason. So, seeing life all around us, we see that all those phenomena of life are living. Are they thinking? Are the dogs thinking? Are the cows thinking? Using the mind as thought? No. Of course not. They express obeying to that feeling of continuing existing, the instinct of prolonging their existence. We see what we call it instinct. But instinct is not thinking directly of the one expressing the instinct. You see, all animals around us expressing the instinct. But instinct is not reasonable thought. There is in it the wisdom, the total wisdom of the Almighty and the intelligences who are creating those phenomena of life, and maybe they are living in this phenomena of life. Living in which way? Creating angels to control them, but who is controlling them? Behind the angels are the archangels. So we can see the total wisdom in every phenomenon of life all around us in the cross-material world. But all those phenomena of life are not expressing thought, as we call thinking. Some say that instinct is a kind of thinking. No, it isn't. Maybe it is the thinking of the intelligences behind the phenomena of life, of the archangels. Yes, I admit to that. The archangels can think, are thinking, are manifesting a self. Now, we have just to see now the relationship between thinking, using the mind in a special way with the self. Yes, now we come to see that the self, what we call the self, the holy archangels are expressing an archangelic self. The human beings are expressing a human self. But there is still a self common to all, which is the absolute selfhood, which is proving us not only the existence of God, but the beingness of God. So what is God for us now? We see now God from a different point of view than we saw it in previous lessons. See it in more practical way. Because we say that God is the absolute infinite selfhood. In its omnipresence, there is no place, the sense of a place where we don't see the total wisdom. That means that expression of the divine selfhood. So, but who can do that? The cows, the dogs, the sheep? Not, of course. But a human being can do it. Why? This is the proof that a human being expressing a self is God, similar to God. He has his divine being self expressing it as a phenomenon of life, just like the other phenomena of life, but through that phenomenon of life we call a human being, we see the divinity, the right use of the mind in thinking. Now we are using the God mind. We said in previous lessons that the absolute infinite beingness, the mind is, but is not existing in manifestation. It is the nature of the absolute infinite beingness. To feel is self-sufficiency. Now we see the mind in a different mode of beingness, not of existence. Now we see the mind in existence. You have to understand the two different things of being and existing. So the mind is unmanifested in the absolute infinite beingness. Now, how is the mind in the absolute infinite beingness unmanifested yet? What we call the total wisdom and the almightiness. It is there. So we find the total wisdom of the absolute infinite beingness in manifesting in itself inwardly, not yet existing, the mind. So the mind is of much, much importance. And in the world of beingness, and in the world of the beingness, and in the world of existence. We cannot understand what's the mind unless we study the mind in the lowest manifestations of it in the cross-material world. So, the lesson today is just to understand the mind in the world of existence, manifested. Now, we said in previous lessons, what manifesting the mind? It is the nature of whom this mind, as we call it, the mind super substance. Now, what is the super substance? We cannot know exactly, since it is formless. It is motion, but without anything moving. So how can you trace motion if you don't have something moving to see it moving? And see it moving, you see the thing moving. Can you see motion causing the movement? So it needs much thinking to understand that seeing something moving, there must be motion in it or using it to move. So, can you connect now the mind, super substance, and in all its manifestations with movement? Definitely. Unless you see something moving, how you can understand what's mind, what's thought, movement in time. Unless you have that movement in time, how you can have a thought? That's rather a little difficult to understand that, but that's the reality. So now we just connect the mind to what we call movement, motion. What can you use this word, the better word? Motion, movement. It's the same thing. Then we see the mind in the manifested world. Manifested. Everything to exist, it is the mind. Now, we can understand what is super substance. Because from that super substance, unconceivable, we see coming out what is manifested, seen. We can see it now. It's creating something. And we said in previous lessons that all the universes have been created by the holy archangels, the holy intelligences, those selfhood, in the logoic selfhood, using the mind. And we said that this mind super substance emanates from the absolute infinite beingness and the beingness and the holy archangels as a result of the will pleasure to manifest themselves where? In themselves. Because they are omnipresent also. As omnipresent is the absolute infinite beingness. Now, more, it's not easy to understand. The real nature of all these things, it is not very easy to understand. Just using a handful of earth, we call it the material brains. But of course, we can know much more when we reach that state of our existing self, the time and place self, to be awakened in the higher realms, not in need of using the material brains, but using directly the mind. But then we are not common human beings. We are soul ego selves. Having the same form, the human form, we are still human. But still, we are on a higher level, away from what I call the ground, the soil, the earth, the clay, call it whatever you like. So, shall we say now that the material body and the material brains, that handful of earth in our skull, in our heads, is barring out the reality from us. It's keeping us in ignorance. Definitely. This is what is making a human consciousness, no matter in which degree it expresses itself, to have the illusion, because that's not the reality, that's out of the oneness of the absolute infinite beingness, and creates a kind of separate self from all the other people expressing a self, and unfortunately from the absolute infinite beingness. So we are in the oneness of the Logos, of the El Shaddai, of the absolute infinite beingness, yet being in a chronomaterial body, we have the feeling that we are different as something, not the absolute infinite beingness, that we get out of the oneness. I said, it's an illusion in reality, because if it was possible to be like that, we wouldn't be able to live. We cannot get out of life. And now we can understand what is life by studying the phenomena of life around us, and that phenomenon of life, we call it our time and place self. Now, our time and place self, I don't mean the cross-material body. We can study the cross-material body by using the mind now, individually using the mind now. So, God the Father granted us the authority and the right to use the cross-material mind, even separated from its oneness. Give us this day our daily bread. Now, that we have the right to use the mind, the proof is that we are using the mind as thought, only as thought. No. We can use the mind now as emotions, as desires. Still we are using the mind as super substance and substance. But we can use the mind still as ether. Now the mind as ether becomes energy, power. Power already manifested, because the mind is power. But now we see manifested, that power. And cross matter. The cross matter is the mind solid. But solid, what do we mean solid? It's something we must understand. What is solid? In reality, nothing is solid. Since X-rays can pass through your body, how it's solid? So now we study what we mean solid. It's something most important to study it. Now, I speak of my own experiences. Solid is something we understand by touching it with something similar to the same vibrations with that thing you are touching. Otherwise it cannot be solid for you. Now we have a cross-material body. We know our cross-material body. We call it solid. It is solid for us as long as you are living in a cross-material body. We touch things, cross-material things. Why they are solid for us? Because our hands are as solid as that thing. That means that hands are vibrating to that rate of vibrations as the other things are vibrating. So we call them solid. This is solid. Touching it. And what is solid in the cross-material world is giving also ethereal or etheric feelings of cold, hot, and other kinds of feelings, which means that holding, touching something with my cross-material hand, something cross-material, I get feelings. Why? Because in my cross-material body is also what I call the body of the feelings, the etheric double, and the psychical body, exactly in the same form as our material body. Do you have the feeling of cold and hot and warm in the psychical plane? As you have it on the cross-material world? No. But we have a kind of feeling there which is giving you that it is pleasing or displeasing, to the various degrees of feeling pleasure, or we can't call it displeasure, we can use it, something we don't want it. So the same thing applies to the so-called noetical world. Now, if I am out of my cross-material body, I say I am speaking of my own experiences, and I come in this room. Now, of course, this is not an easy thing for everybody to do it. He must first be able to make self-conscious exosomatosis out of the material body being there. So, if you gain by practice, by training, just to express yourself, accept the cross-material body, have the self-consciousness outside of the cross-material body, what body will be solid to you now? This cross-material body? Yes, as long as you are in it, you find it, it is your cross-material body solid. And you can touch and see things which are solid, cross-material. If you are out of your cross-material body, not bound in the etheric double, because this is a difficulty you have to overcome from the etheric double and be to the psychical world, and be in your psychical body, and you feel your psychical body, then your psychical body is solid for you. And everything vibrating to those vibrations of your psychical body are solid for you. So you can touch things there and feel they are solid. Now, if I am here in my psychical body, self-conscious here, I can see all of you. Why? Because you have a psychical body. I will not see your cross-material body, but I'll see your psychical body in your material body. So a fellow in exosomatosis, that means in out of the material body, self-expression, is finding the cross-material world, of course, quite easy to approach, though the cross-material body is vibrating in such way that you feel that's not your world to stay. So you have to practice how to lower down your vibrations to be in the cross-material world. This is the difficulty they find. Those who depart from the cross-material body, you call them dead, to approach and be too close to the cross-material world. Because even if they come here, they find that attraction from another state. They cannot stay. They can be near their beloved ones, see them, try to talk to them. But what is the first impression of those who are living in the psychical world soon after they leave their material body? Can they see their material body there? Dead. Some do. But the angels try to make them not see their material body dead there. If they are self-conscious of all these things, they can see it. When they can see it? If they know what we call exosomatosis, getting out of the body self-consciously, and you can see your material body there, entering it or going away. Of course, it's not difficult. Passing away just to see your material body dead there. Then you know, I'm not dead. It is the material body which is dead now. But of course the angels are laughing. Yes, that will not affect you. See it there. Because God, you are practicing, you know these things. Otherwise, the angels try, when a common man passes away, not to see his material body dead, but just to be convinced that they are living in their body, in their psychical body, considering it solid. And it is solid. Of course, the psychical plane is solid for them. The cross-material world is not solid for them. They can pass through cross-material things without even noticing them. So they are losing the sense of solid. So solid is something we are feeling and not something which is in reality. So solid for a man living his material body is when he is feeling the solid through a body vibrating to the same rate of vibration with the things they are considering solid. So for a fellow who is living the cross-material body, even in exosomatosis, one who knows how to do that, and for those who are living the material body, by the phenomenon of the death of the material body, not of their death. There is not death for the personality. Solid is the God vibrating to the same rate of vibrations with the body they are living in. So, if I can be here in this material world with my psychical body, and I see things because they have their psychical counterpart. If I concentrate in these things, I can see them. Can I move a chair in the material world? Many times I have tried it. No. Because when I try, my hand will pass through it. That is not solid for me anymore, living in my psychical body. And if I want to move it, if it's necessary to move it, I have to lower down the vibrations of my psychical hand to the vibrations of that thing, and then I am able to move it. But what people there will understand, that they see something materializing and moving it. And if you want just to move something in distance, never mind how far, it is very easy to go there with your psychical body, or even project an elemental of yourself and control it in far distant places. But how is that elemental? This is the psychical state, not in cross material. You have to materialize it so that it will move something cross-material. How? By lowering the vibrations to the rate of the vibrations of the solid thing you want to move. So, those who are living in the psychical world is for them real, and not the cross-material world. And I say, if they can descend, why? The cross-material world is here, the psychical world is here, and many kilometers around the planet. So they have to lower, just to descend themselves to the surface of the cross-material world. And I say that for those who are passing away, there is an attraction upwards which prevents them to stay in the psychical atmosphere of the cross-material world. But by training, they can come down. Suppose a fellow can come down to this cross-material world from what they call it spirit world. It is not yet the spirit world. The spirit world is much, much higher and here also. They come here, the spirits. They see people. These are certain spirits who are approached there. You may call them earthbound if you like, who are influencing people living in the cross-material world. And then we have the phenomena of spiritualism, which I don't approve. So, what are the mediums? Are there sincere and real mediums who can come in touch by the vibrations, just creating the vibrations to the same with that? Are there mediums on earth? Yes, of course they are. Those who by nature or by practice, sitting for development as they say, they become self-conscious of their etheric double, because that's the in-between. They can just be in attunement with entities or beings. Entities or beings. I will explain that. Living in the psychical world. With entities living in the psychical world. I mean the elementals. And the beings staying in the psychical world. The beings of those who have departed from the cross-material body, and they are living in the psychical world or in higher worlds. The higher you are living, more powers you have just to descend to the lower worlds. That means development. So, why I don't approve spiritualism? Because as people now are using these mediumistic powers, coming in touch with the psychical world, they are not self-conscious to this world and self-consciously aware with this world. How can they know that they come in touch with an entity there or with a being there? An entity, I mean an elemental. So there is much deception. They may be honest and sincere, but the elementals could come and masquerade that they are the beings. That's why I'm against spiritualism. Unless one is awakened, he's self-conscious to distinguish and understand this is an elemental and this is a being. And if one is able to do that, why should he come in touch with these beings or elementals on the lowest plane, that means on the material world, and not himself go there, where there are less mistakes, being more aware of that world? So, I say, the psychical body of a human being is a reality. For me, yes, because I can use it self-consciously. The psychical world is a reality, which is where? And here, and many thousands of kilometers around our planet. Beyond that, not the psychical counterpart of the cross-material world, our Earth. They say that every cross-material body in space has its own etheric double, and it has its own psychical counterpart. And I'm telling you, no human being living on this planet, living in a material body or living in the so-called psychical counterpart of this planet, can leave the planet. He can be in the 49 subplanes, it depends, of this planet, the hells and the paradises, according to the vibrations of his shell in which he is living. But no human being with his psychical body can live the psychical so-called counterpart of the planet. Definitely. If they say they have gone to the other planets or they are coming from the other planets, they are in illusion. They are mistaken. They think so. I say again, with the psychical body, nobody can live the psychical counterpart of this planet of the earth, paradises or hells. But when a fellow, a human being, as a soul now self, not as a personality, even hearing to his name, male or female, feeling it, being independent soul self, still being what is his sex on earth, as long as that fellow is living in a material body also, develops his self-consciousness to higher levels, to what I call to his noetical body, he can visit the noetical world, and of the planet and of any other planet. Why? Of the solar system. Because though the psychical counterparts of any heavenly body cannot come in contact with the other psychical counterpart of any other planet, the noetical is just the ocean in which all are in it. So he can go. Would make it plain. When one succeeds to be self-conscious, to use self-consciously his so-called noetical body, he can leave the psychical world of the planet. He can go to the noetical world of any other planet of our solar system. Now, I'm speaking again from my personal experiences. Being there, can you come in touch with the psychical world of that other planet? Yes, if you know how to lower down your vibrations from the noetical body to what you call your psychical body, and then know and move about self-consciously to the psychical counterpart of that planet. And I'm telling you, that's most difficult. It's not an easy thing. Can you materialize on the other planet? Going down, lower your vibrations to the cross-material world of Mars or of Venus or of any other planet? You can, provided that planet, the cross-material of that planet is not the same as our material world. And so you have to learn to know the physics of that planet. As you can, through your nautical body, create another psychical body, an elemental, on this planet, and then even materialize it in the cross matter. You have to train yourself for that. You can do that also in another planet. You'll put the question, have you done that? I don't have time for that. There is so much cry of pain on this planet, and you have given just a promise to the most beloved one to stay and serve here. I can, but I'm not willing to do it, neglecting my work of mercy on this planet. So, for me, what Joshua Manuel de Christ said, in my Father's house, there are many, many mansions. It is not something he said and I believe it, but something I know it's true. It is. Yes, in our Father's home, his Father and our Father, are many, many mansions. That means many, many words. That's why I'm using always the word universes and not universe. And all those wise ones who have lived before us said, you are universes. Allah are full of your glory. Many, many wise words. So, this planet, Earth. Now human beings know much, much, much about this planet, since they can go around it, flying around it with jets and everything. It's very small for the human beings now. And now they want to search other worlds. They make the mistake. They want to visit other cross-material worlds. The moon. They try to go to Mars. Why don't they try just to contact these worlds in another dimension? This is what's wrong with the Orthodox science now. They are still bound on the cross matter. What is their gain if they go to Venus or to Mars, to Moon? They have gone to Moon. They went there, walked there, found the conditions there and that. Well, that's knowledge, that's good. But is that the right direction? No. They are wasting their time. They can study these words with other means, by knowing the words of other dimensions and other dimensions. It's much easier for them to visit these words and see even the cross-material counterpart of those words. That knowledge will be given to them. Seek the kingdom of the heavens and everything will be given to you. This is great truth. But of course, searching the cross-material counterparts of those words, what do they know of the words of other dimensions connected with these words? That means the psychical counterpart of Venus, or the psychical part of Mars, or the noetical world of Venus, or the noetical world of that. So they are on wrong direction. For how long? They will find the necessity now to see, but after all, it is not only the cross matter that counts. They started already to understand that there are other worlds of other dimensions which they should study, should know more about it. And besides, it is the world that sooner or later we have to go. For how long a human being will live in a cross-material body? More than 150 years. So God the Father is giving us the lesson, you stupid ones. Your life in a cross-material body, in this cross-material world, is not endless. And you know now, using the mind, the animals cannot use the mind and know that there are other worlds and there is another way of life and what is even the meaning of life, living instinctively. But we are gods. We can study and know our nature besides the cross-material body as our emotions and come in conscious, at the beginning, conscious contact with our psychical body, and later coming self-conscious contact with our psychical body. That studying and practicing can see that we can unfold ourselves to higher planes to come at the beginning again, I say, in conscious contact with the noetical world, and later in self-conscious contact with the noetical world, which means coming to the reality. What is life? In the worlds of existence, We are still in the course of existence. So in the course of existence, we find the cross-material world. All the cross-material counterparts of all the heavenly bodies in the immense space. But I said we must get to other directions, to other dimensions. And we must start from the fourth dimension of our cross-material world. How? By studying our fourth dimensional psychical body. Develop it. Live in it. Be conscious of it and then self-conscious of it. And then for us, living in the cross-material world, it's possible. And live at the same time in the psychical world of our planet. That means getting to another room of our house. It's as simple as that for me. Being aware that in our house is not the only one room we are living here. There are other rooms, bigger halls, and I can enter in them and see in them what it is. So now I say, the worlds of existence, as far as a human being using its human intelligence can know, are 7. Which are these 7 existing and living? We know the cross-material world. For us, it's only 1/3 of the surface of our planet. The rest is water. Very small indeed. At least for the Orthodox science today, it became very small. So, this is a world of existence in which we can study phenomena of life. Billions and billions and billions. Start from the amoeba, the world, everything are all phenomena of life. Having a cross-material body. What do we study? That all these phenomena of life obey to certain rules and laws. Therefore, there must be the lower and the one who is ruling these things. And what are these rules of the cross-material world? Nothing can exist in the cross-material world unless it has a form and a cross-material body in that form. Which form? Billions and billions and billions and billions of forms. Do you see billions of phenomena of life all around us we can study? In the mineral kingdom, the crystals, metals. In the vegetable kingdom, in the animal kingdom. There are so many things to study and reach to our conclusions that definitely behind every phenomenon of life is a superintelligence beyond our comprehension, which is almighty, keeping that and any of this phenomenon of life in the circle of existence and possibilities. Nothing can escape from that circle of possibilities. I can study also the probabilities, many probabilities, in a definite circle of possibilities for every existing being. These are the laws of the cross-material world. Now, what the mystics can find also beyond this knowledge of the cross-material world, entering not consciously but self-consciously in this cross-material world, they will find there the same law. Phenomena of life continuing their life from the cross-material world there, or even phenomena of life only in the psychical world. Again, they must have a form to exist, a form dressed up with the substance of that plane, as the forms are material and the cross-material plane. Now, can you trace God there more easily? Now, I had some just experience which I'll tell you later. Now, entering in the noetical world, more light, it's full of light. There, matter is emanating light. You are in the world of the light, in the noetical world. There to exist also one should have a form, different form for us human beings. No, exactly our human form, and each one with his characteristics. St. George and John, there you will understand that it's there. If they have a sign on their face or something, you will see theirs. All the characteristics are there. But you see now that form more luminous, more lovely, more beautiful. There is nothing which is ugly in the noetical world. In the noetic, going there is a form there, but in different sense is the form there. Then you can see the soul spirit form, what we call our spirit body, which is a body and it isn't a body also. Why it is and it isn't? Because to see a form in the lower world, in the cross-material world, you will find it in its course of existence in time. Starts from the spermatozoa, growing until it becomes an old man, if he would complete the circle of possibilities and going on. So you see the human form in the cross-material body continuously changing. But still, the sum total of everything is you. You say, yes, if you have photos, you say how nice I was when I was 20 years old. Now, I am grown up with wrinkles in my face, like that. But everything is in your circle of possibilities and existence. So it is how you see a human being in the cross-material world, in the world of continuous change. Now in the psychical world, you go there in the psychical world. Usually those who go in the psychical world and you contact them, you see them younger, because they want to look younger. And so the psychical substance of their form is more under the influence of what they like and of their thoughts. Conducting self-consciously people in the astral plane who have departed, you see them much younger and beautiful. And they prefer a certain age. And they can remain in that age for a longer time, but not forever. So, what we call the course in time of the circle of existence there changes completely, not in form, but in appearance, because the form is there in all its course, but you have the appearance which you like. The same in the nautical world, provided you are permitted to have that. And who is not permitting us to have the appearance we want to have and we like? We ourselves, in the way we are living. In your hell, if you are in a hell, it's not easy just to influence your appearance. You see an old man there loving his money. You can enter in his shell and see him in the age. He's an old man just counting his money. So there are conditions there which we need to study. And conditions in life, in the psychical world, are not the same as the conditions in life or our cross-material world. And the difficulty for those who are in the cross-material world is to accommodate themselves with the new conditions of life of the psychical plane. And they need training. And there are people who are training souls, personality souls, going there to see things in a different way as they are, and not in the way they used to see things on the cross-material plane. For example, I am one of these teachers to those departing from the material plane. To go from here with cross-material body, somewhere you'll go step by step, step by step, walking. And either by a bicycle, by a car, by an aeroplane to move yourself on the cross-material world. Now, are there cars, railways, and all these things in the psychical world? In the psychical world, generally, no. But in the shelled health of people, everything existing on the material world is there. You can see entering in their shell hell or hell paradise all these things which they carry from here as their impression and their knowledge. But you laugh, as you live in your own world. In your world, it's what you have understood, what you have taken from the cross-material. But in the psychical world, it's all light and beauty. But who can see it? There is light and beauty on our cross-material world certain hours of the day. Who is observing this beauty and this light and everything? Living all the time in their own thoughts and emotions and interests in life. So things are not changing immediately. But I am telling you, the psychical world is much, much better than the cross-material world. It is as if going out of a dungeon to the open country. Now, things there have longer life. Does you have a nice flower? For how long that will last? How long? Few hours? Days? The maximum. And then? So the law on the cross-material body, on the cross-material world, is continuous change and decay. In the psychical world? No. Things have longer, much longer life. I had an experience which I'm telling you my own. I was 7 years of age, being self-conscious in the psychical plane as I was in the cross-material plane. I had a friend there, a Dominican monk. He had showed me to a very nice place there in the psychical world, a kind of monastery, a long, long, very nice hall. He said, "It's your place if you come here to stay. You have the right." It was just a stained glass there, beautiful things. I have seen them in Europe on churches. At that time I didn't see any of these things on the cross-material body. A nice, comfortable bed and a crucifix, and an altar. Because they know the crucifix there and the altar. In the yard there were very lovely Madonna lilies, smelling. The sense of smelling, you have it there perfectly. You don't have it on the material plane, so nice. And I told him, "Look here, can I have just one of these and put it on the altar?" I was 7 years of age, 8 maybe. Of course, with his thought, because Everything is created by thought there. He presented me a nice vase, emerald color vase, with water. Why he did it? Because this was the things I knew from the cross material world. They got one, they placed it there, just in front of the crucifix. It is there now, fresh yet. And the other day I told him, what stupidity, why did I have to cut it and put it there and not offer it to him being there? He said, what, that was what you wanted. So things are not decaying in the psychical plane, the nautical plane. They endure longer time, which means that the mind as thought is not creating and not sustaining things we like on the cross material world as you can do them in the psychical and the nautical world. But you have to live self-consciously there. But are people living on the cross material world now living self-consciously? No. I'm telling you, 80% of people living all over the world in the civilized countries and everywhere, they are not living self-consciously. They are living, yes, consciously, not self-consciously. They didn't reach what we say, self-realization, to know what they are. Know what they are as what? Mary, Church. No, that's not our real self. That's our time and place self in a cross-material body as soul, spirit beings. Because in reality, our real self is not our appearance in the course, in our course in time, around the circle of possibilities of a human being, and of course our own way to cover this circle of possibilities on the earth plane. What I'm aiming at now, to understand who you are. You are not what you think you appear. A little boy, an infant, an adult, a middle-aged man, an old man. We are not all that. All that is our course in what we call, in our circles of existence and possibilities, than what we are. What is really our appearance? Now try to understand what I say now. In the noetic world, we are all that. You are able to be and feel all that and sting to what we like best. You are the circle of your possibilities. And you feel a great joy being everything of what you have existed, not only in the cross-material world, also in the psychical and the noetical world. That is what we call perfect life as a human being. You are human form, not in changing of appearance, but feeling everything in you. Everything is added to you because you are in the kingdom of the heavens. That's why I said it is a form and it isn't a form. The so-called spirit body. What are the characteristics of our spirit body? First of all, for the spirit body is incorruptible, everlasting. No, just not that. It is incorruptible. How can we create it? We have it already in us, in all our bodies. We never created it. It existed. It is. And this is why the holy archangels taking it as sustaining your body, just to go through the circle of your possibilities. You say to me, did you ever come in contact with your spirit, soul body? I'm telling you yes. If I say no, I will be a liar. What do you feel there? Please. You feel one, at least with my most beloved one, Joshua Manuel the Christ. Not with God, and with God. But I don't want to leave him. I don't want to leave my human form, not body. The body is something different. He had honored the human form. It is in him. We are all of us in him. Which means, can you be in any body considering him your own self? Yes, I can. But it's difficult to explain what it is. It's what he was feeling as a human being, saying, Father, they are me. I am they. How they are in the world of separateness, not knowing that. And why you have forsaken me in them, since I am in them. There is just a mistake in the gospel. Joshua Manuel the Christ, I heard it myself, didn't say, where there are 2 or 3, I am with them. He added something more. Where there are 2 or 3 in my name means in my own nature, feeling who I am in them, he says. Where there are 2 or 3 in my name, I am in them and with them. I'm in them as spirit, soul beings. They are part of myself. And I am with them also as human beings around them. There are 2 different states, being in and with, which they confuse them, everything, those who translated the Bible. Where there are 2 or 3 in my name, in my nature, I am in them and with them as human beings. That means entering in what we call the oneness of the absolute infinite being. Now, we said much. That will answer to a question. Marriage between 2 people, a male and a female person, is marriage. And even, don't call it marriage, it's the union of 2 people, a male and a female. Sacred? Yes, it is. And binding? That depends. To what? Now, a male and a female person on the planet now can become, both of them, co-creators with the absolute infinite beingness in prolonging life, giving birth to new spirit souls to exist in the material world. If that's the will of God, that's a different thing. So what is the relation of these 2 people, man and a woman, on the planet and in the heavens? I said, it depends. On the gross material body, it is the sexual intercourse, union, and the effect of it is just the childbirth, bringing children. If that's, I said, the will of God. Because they may do that and nothing will come to it. That depends, I said, upon the will of God. But in reality, seeing things, it is a sacred thing. Giving birth, prolonging the life from the other realms to the cross-material world. Now, from where it should start this relationship? From the cross-material world with the sexual intercourse. This is what is the mistake. Of course, according to the law of God and to His mercy, it is the opportunity so that children may come to the world, to be born into the world. But what family do they create? If their union is not in higher planes, in the realms of love. So, maybe there are two persons, a male and a female, for years and years, lying on the same bed and still be very far one from the other for years. That's not the sexual intercourse which unites a man to a woman. So, is their marriage sacred then? Now we shall see it from two different points. Of duty and habit, because why they are connected, and as there is a debt which one owes to the other. Because God could not just make them meet each other. Notice the one case. And the other case is just to be according to the will of God. But, I said, the sexual intercourse is not joining two people, a male and a female, but the soul connection. So this cannot last on the material plane more than a few years. Forever? No. So it is attraction and repulsion, attraction and repulsion, attraction and repulsion, till the time that there is the attraction that remains one. That means the one enter in the oneness of the other. They can never enter in the oneness of God unless the one is entering the oneness of his companion. Let us call it companion. So that a family to be blessed, so not only just the priest just reciting things that binds to people, but their hearts, love. So what is uniting two people is the love on the higher realms, on the psychical and the noetical. Now, psychical and the noetical is not the same thing. No. They may be united in the psychical world, feeling the one loves the other, be in union as two beings, male and female. That means loving each other, but there will not be any understanding amongst them, between them, and amongst the other people. So it's not only to be united to human beings, a man and a woman, in the psychical plane, but also in the noetical plane. There must be what we call understanding each other, the one living for the other, and especially for the children, because they complete now this circle according to the will of God of creation. They become co-creators with God. So the union is not only in the cross-material plane, it should be also in the psychical plane and in the noetical plane. This is the marriage which you find in the Gospel proposed by Joshua the Christ as a sacred union. And if Joshua Manor declares that one should love any other human being as himself, would that be an exception with the fellow that he becomes co-creator with God? So this should be studied seriously, the sacredness of the married life. But again, two husband and wife come in many incarnations together. As I have seen, studying with people all around me, I'm telling you, yes. I have seen couples more than 10 times united, which is just making these two people unite. The sexual intercourse on the material plane, no, they have done it with many others, both of them. So that does not bind. Then which binds and brings them together in many, many incarnations? The Hindus call it karma, the debts of the one to the other. And God unites two people so that they will learn the great lesson of loving and understanding and cooperating. Now, are people united in this incarnation, even from past incarnations, in full attunement to each other? It is the thing they have to learn. Quarreling, shouting, living, complaining, living their life. Either being united to learn their lesson, or if they go too far, it is the divorce and separation. The one goes his way, the other is going his other way. So this relationship of human beings, male and female, on the planet for years and years and centuries is just as a school to learn your lessons of understanding, loving, uniting. Uniting is not the carnal intercourse. Uniting is the one entering the oneness of the other. Now, do I approve divorce? Sometimes it is advisable. If people go too far, one of them or both of them are coming to a place of beating each other, kicking each other, creating troubles and all that, making their children unhappy, it's better to be separated. But they were separated already, just living this kind of life. They had never been really united. So what is uniting two people? Two things: loving and understanding. If you don't have these two things, union on the cross-material world is prostitution for me, even if it is by the blessing of the church. So union between two people should be understanding and loving. If the one is egoist and thinks the other is just to dominate him or dominate her, that doesn't matter. It's better that they should be separated. So, marriage for me is not the sexual intercourse between two people, but marriage for me is on the psychical world with their psychical bodies and in the noetical. Two husband and wife meet in the other side, the psychical plane. Now I'm telling you a law. Love is attraction. Indifference and hatred is repulsion. Those who do not live in the right way on the material plane, never mind that they are husband and wife, will not meet on the psychical plane or the nautical plane. But those who love each other are united. Now, We have beloved ones who have parted and went to the other side. Are we losing them? There is love? No. If there is not understanding, there is even this feeling of not being pleased with, it separates them. So love is uniting. Indifference, hatred, and quarrels is separating. Not only on the material plane, in the other planes also. Now what is the lesson of a man? To learn. To love. This is the greatest lesson which should be learned. To love, not in the way people are loving. Because what Joseph Emmanuel Christ said to his disciples, he said, love one another as I have loved you. Not as you think it's love. My love I give to you, which means what? My love. A love just pure, not egoistic, not dominating, but giving. Which love? He gave them in the Last Supper the greatest examples, because I don't believe that they knew what he meant by my love I give to you till he showed them. Come on, washing their feet, wiping them and kissing them, all of them. What he said, if you love, you wash the feet of the other. Is that humiliation? No, it's love. So, which is the greatest enemy of a human being on the planet, on earth? The sum total of the demon elementals created in his personality and in his subconsciousness. Never mind that this personal egoism presents itself sometimes as an angel of light. Egoism is always a demon, a demon collective of all the elementals of evil in a human being. Unless a fellow annihilates in his consciousness, see this, unless a fellow annihilates in his consciousness, in his subconsciousness, this elemental group elemental we call egoism, he cannot wake up his self-consciousness, the soul spirit self. It's as simple as that. Now, what is the lesson a human being has to learn on the cross-material plane? First, that living a day, every day, God is giving us as human beings a day to live. Giving us a day to live, God, in the cross-material world. The Holy Archangel sustaining that material body and the other bodies to live in them ourselves. With what right we make the life of the other people miserable? Is that not devilish? But don't we live also in a miserable way? What is the right, our right? Just to live in that way, in a devilish way, living in a body the Holy Archangels are creating for me and sustaining it for me to live. What is the aim then of these Holy Archangels? Sustaining this body so that I will live in a stupid way, hating, not loving. Just think the greatest tolerance of the archangels to us and their patience for us. So these are the lessons we have to learn. You have to annihilate in our personality and in our what we call subconsciousness, this demon, collective demon, we call personal egoism. And of course, the duty of every human being and of the seekers of the truth is by introspection, using the mind in a reasonable way, using their divine nature of observation and studying, see the reality in their emotions, in their desires, in their actions, in generally their life, as they call it, their own life. Otherwise, they will live unhappy and in despair until they learn the great lesson. And now, something like I should just tell you. We, as long as we live in our cross-material body, in our own way of living, we see things that they mean nothing, as just mountains to cross them. For the least things we create troubles, grief, and unhappiness to us and to the others around us. That means living without thinking properly. What a seeker of the truth should do: never to value something beyond its value. Not undervalue it, but not overvalue it. And how we understand the real value of things, seeing things from above in the course of time and of the events, and studying our life as we have lived it, see that things which really mattered very much for us before a day, 2, a month, 3 months, 6 months, today mean nothing to us. Seeing things from a different point of view. And yet, that time, those things were torturing us. And we are torturing others, thinking that it was something very, very serious. Now we see that that's not the case. It's everything different. Then what we shall do? See the things now that we think that they are of much importance in reality, they will mean nothing to us in the course of time. After some time, in future, this is the lesson we have to learn. Do we learn it very easily? I'm telling you, we need many, many centuries to learn this lesson. Really, a human being needs centuries to learn this lesson. I remember when I was a boy 7 years old, that was just in the house something that disturbed other people, our people, just many, many, many things. I was in a corner sitting. I was looking at them all like that, complaining why and why, so many whys, like devils jumping and dancing all those whys and why and why and why. I was just looking like that. My father came to me and said, "Now go to bed, it's late. We still have to talk." I started laughing. Talk? Say what? What you are saying now? And you are saying the whole day, Father? Yes, we have just have to do what? No, I'm just sitting here listening to you. He said, "You're just a little child, go to bed. You are 7 years old." So looking at him, I said, "Father," I was hearing all the things. "For days now you are talking, the whole family and the others coming, saying, and all these things, the trouble and disturbance. Father, nothing matters much, and most of the things, all these things, matter at all." They went to bed, said, "Come here, come on, repeat it to me, say that." nothing matters much in life. And most things do not matter at all. It's wasting of time. He got a pen, repeat it. And he wrote in English, because we are speaking English language in our house. He wrote it down. Gentlemen, please go now. No more talk about these things. He said, but nothing matters, but he said, and most things do not matter at all. And he put it on a board with red letters and put it in his room. Now, this is the reality. Nothing matters much, and most things do not matter at all. Especially idle talk, lazy talk of others concerning us. Nothing matters. Tomorrow we'll speak. I will just answer some of the questions. How we must live a better life. How we must create better elementals, and how to give way to trouble.